Welcome to the War Insider YouTube channel. Solidar is the hottest place in Ukraine today. On January 10, 2023, the founder of Wagner PMC, Yevgeny Prigozhin, stated that Wagner PMC units had taken control of the entire territory of Solidar. Prigozhin's press service reports.
The enemy's encirclement has been formed in the center of the city. Urban battles are taking place in the city. The number of prisoners will be announced tomorrow. Once again, I want to emphasize that no units other than the fighters of the Wagner PMC took part in the assault on Solidar.
The Ukrainian side confirms the Russian attack, but claims that the Ukrainian army continues to defend part of the city. Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine Anna Malyar says, "The Russian army continues its offensive in the Solidar area. The outskirts of Solidar are covered with the bodies of the invaders. Despite the difficult situation, the Ukrainian soldiers are fighting desperately. The enemy, trying unsuccessfully to break through our defenses and capture the city, suffers significant losses. The goal of the Russians is to break through the defense of the armed forces of Ukraine and capture the city." Today, on the morning of January 13th, Anna Malyar updated the news. The night in Solidar was hot, the fighting continued. The enemy has thrown almost all the main forces to the Donetsk direction and maintains a high intensity of the offensive. Meanwhile, Alexei Gromov, Deputy Chief of the Main Operational Directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, said that fierce battles were going on in Solidar. "It's a little inappropriate to rate how much of the city we control and how much the enemy is trying to control. The fighting is going on, the fighting is fierce," he said. The Pentagon is impressed by the courage of the Ukrainians and does not confirm the capture of the city. The Ukrainian military reports about the fighting in the city and the destruction of the invaders. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin cannot confirm the claims of the Russian military that they managed to take control of Solidar. "There several times everything passed from one hand to another, and now there are very fierce battles. It is very impressive how the Ukrainians hold on. They continue to fight resolutely," the head of the Pentagon said. The Ukrainian soldier, with the call sign Madyar, reports that today the fighting continues. "It will be an intense day." And he announced the interception of the initiative from the enemy. At the same time, pro-Russian channels are outraged that Wagner's troops prematurely announced the capture of the city and that this causes a lot of damage.
It's a total nightmare right now. The haste with the announcement of the complete capture of the city has led to the fact that now you have to throw all your strength. If Prigozhin personally announced the capture of the city, the resources no longer plays a role. These are wild losses for such a small section of the front.
Kremlin speaker Dmitry Peskov comments on the situation in Solidar. "No time to stop." He also spoke about the heroism of the occupiers and said that the main work is still ahead. That is, the capture of Solidar is not confirmed in the Kremlin. Also, an advisor to the office of the President of Ukraine, Alexei Arestovich, said that the armed forces of Ukraine are not going to leave Solidar yet. He urged to listen to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, which reports that part of Solidar is under Ukrainian control and that a decision is now being made on what to do next in this situation, to withdraw Ukrainian units or not. According to Arestovich, the armed forces of Ukraine are not going to leave Solidar yet, but if we leave the city, it will not be a flight. This will be a planned decision of the command. The situation is under our control, and we make the best decision, said the advisor to the head of the op. The situation in Solidar was also commented by the Speaker of the Eastern Group of Forces Sergei Cherevity.
Heavy fighting continues in Solidar. The enemy suffers heavy losses. The most trained units of the Wagner PMC are fighting there. Our soldiers show great heroism, courage, professionalism, coherence and fortitude. Now the situation is under control of the entire command of the armed forces, the commander-in-chief and the commander of the Eastern Group of Forces.
Cherevity noted that now the Ukrainian command is trying to choose the most correct tactics from a strategic and tactical point of view, and they will announce the decision in the coming days. President Volodymyr Zelensky also commented on the situation.
Of course, the number one issue is Soledar, Bakhmut, and the general struggle for the Donetsk direction. We analyzed in detail what decisions are needed, what reinforcements are needed, what steps the commanders should take in the coming days. We discussed the situation with the supply of weapons and ammunition to the troops, the corresponding interaction with our partners.
The Institute for the Study of War believes that the possible capture of Soledar by the Russians is not an operationally significant event and is unlikely to portend the imminent encirclement of Bakhmut. According to analysts, Ukrainian forces no longer maintain organized defense in Soledar. Russian troops likely pushed Ukrainian forces out of the western outskirts of the city. However, according to experts, the capture of the entire city will not be an important operational event and is unlikely to portend the inevitable encirclement of Bakhmut. Analysts noted that the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on January 12 did not report that Ukrainian forces had repelled Russian attacks on Soledar, compared with reports the day before. Meanwhile, satellite photos of Soledar appeared. They show what the city was like in August 2022 and what it became in January 2023. The head of the Donetsk military administration, Pavel Kironko, said that 559 civilians remained in Soledar, including 15 children. Due to active hostilities, their evacuation is impossible. We continue to follow developments. Stay with us. Click like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.